What up, peeps? Long time no see, right? Welcome back to the Gabe Fix. If this is your first time watching, welcome. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and stick around for a while. You guys, I have been wanting to make this video for the past week and a half, and it has not happened. So I am really happy that I am finally sitting down and getting it done. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my birth story and introduce you to baby Reagan. Most of you follow me on my vlog channel, GabeBabeTV, so you have already really met her. But just in case you watch this channel and not my vlog channel, I figured I'd come and introduce her, talk to you guys about how everything went down. So let me back up a little bit. You guys know that Reagan is my second child, and my first child I had by emergency C-section. So I wanted to go the VBAC route this time around. Well, that did not happen. So let me tell you all about it, because we had always had a C-section date scheduled just so that we could be on the calendar in case we needed to use it. And we scheduled it for her actual due date at 40 weeks on January 12th. So leading up to the 12th, like that week before the 12th, I tried everything under the sun to get my body to kick into labor on its own, and nothing worked. When I tell you nothing worked, nothing worked, okay? I tried midwife's brew not once but twice. I tried, walking upstairs, walking on the incline on my treadmill, bouncing on the ball, sex, raspberry tea. I mean, everything under the sun, you name it, I tried it, and nothing worked. Like literally everything that everybody was suggesting, everything I was Googling, nothing worked. And I was, the week before my due date, I was only 1 centimeter dilated and 50% effaced, I think. I can't quite remember. So fast forward to the 12th, and I had an appointment that Monday, January 8th, and still 1 centimeter, nothing had changed, and my blood pressure was really high. And those last couple of weeks, my blood pressure had been really high. My doctor was just like, I know you really want to try for VBAC, but it's kind of a good thing that we have you scheduled for Friday, because we don't want your blood pressure to get any higher. I was extremely swollen. I mean, my ankles and my feet were this big. It was no lie. It was a hotmess.com. So I think I tried the midwife's brew for the last time on Thursday, and I was like, maybe it'll just kick me into gear right before I'm supposed to go in for my C-section. Nothing happened. So I was scheduled for 2 o'clock on Friday. So if you are having a C-section, you cannot eat hours beforehand. So I do remember waking up, setting my clock for 5 o'clock in the morning so I could eat some leftovers so that I would not be hungry. So I got up and had some leftover Buffalo Wild Wings. I was eating my chicken wings because I was like, I'm going to be starving by the time 2 o'clock comes around. Eat my wings, go back to sleep, and then we wake up, it's time to get ready. So the plan was for my best friend to come with us with Chad Jr. so that she could watch him while, we're having a C-section and everything, and then she could already be there when baby girl got here, because it was snowing really bad. It was a weather advisory. It was supposed to act up that day with snow. So she was like, let me just ride with y'all so I can be there already. So we were running late. I was supposed to be there at 11:45. We didn't leave the house until 11:20, 11:30. So yeah, we were a little behind. So I was irritated about that. I remember just being irritated. We pick her up, head to the hospital, get there, get up to the maternity floor, and then we have to wait for somebody to, come to registration to check us in and all of that good stuff. The registration lady came, did my registration, and then I was like, okay, I have to go use the restroom. So she told me where the restroom was. I went to the restroom, came back out, and then the nurse came and got us and took us back to our room. So we're like, okay. We said goodbye to Kelly and Chad Jr. We were like, okay, we're going to go to our room. We'll come back and get y'all. Get in the room, and the nurse informs us that because of the flu that has been going around, there was a, statewide policy that no kids under the age of 18 could be in the hospital on the maternity floors. So what did that mean? Chad Jr. could not meet his baby sister on the day that she got here. And I was not ready for that information. I started crying. I was just bawling. Like, I don't know what it was. I was already upset, emotional, anxious, and then hearing that Chad Jr. was not going to be able to meet her on the day she got here, because he knew that this was going to be her birthday, and he was going to meet his baby sister, and he had been really excited about it. And I just broke all the way down, because I was like, now I have to tell him that he can't even meet her, and they have come all the way up here, and he has to go downstairs to the lobby because he can't even be on this floor. Like, it was a situation. I bawled. Chad was like, yeah, I think Chad got emotional too. So we went out there and we told them that they couldn't be up there. He couldn't stay. He wouldn't be able to meet his baby sister until we got home from the hospital. And surprisingly, he took it very well. He was fine. We were messed up and he was good, okay? So that was funny because we were like, I was like snotting and crying, and he was like, okay, it's okay. So then they take me back. So I say my goodbyes to Siege, because I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna see you because you can't even really be here. So say my goodbyes to him. I'm still emotional, still crying. Say my goodbyes to Kels. They're like, we're just gonna go down to the lobby and hang out down there or whatever. So get back there, and the lady is like starting to prep me. She gives me my gown and everything, and she's like, now we have to take a urine sample. And I start crying again because I'm like, I just went to the restroom. Why didn't the registration lady tell me that you were going to have to take a urine sample? I don't remember what they took the urine sample for. It was for like drugs or something. It was weird. I don't remember why they did that. She explained it to me, but I can't remember. But I was crying again when she told me that I had to use the bathroom, because I'm like, I can't pee now, because they had to send the labs off first, and they had to get the labs back before I could have the C-section. So everything had to be like timed. That's why they had me there early and everything. And I'm like, I don't know if I can go to the bathroom. So the nurse was like, just try. She was very patient with me. So she was like, just try. So thankfully, I got a little bit. All they need is a little bit, and I got enough. So that was good. So then I get, in my robe and everything, and I'm finally able to just relax. But my anxiety, like, I was just, at that point, I had been crying. I was upset. Like, it was just too much. I was ready to have this baby. My mom and my sister showed up, and they came back because they wanted to see me before it was time for me to, have the C-section. So they were in the room hanging out, and my mom just kept saying, she was like, well, what if you're contracting? What if you're contracting? Oh, well, they hooked me up, and she could see the contractions. She was like, you're having contractions. And I'm like, really? She's like, you should have them check you just in case. You might be able to have the VBAC. My mom was like, not giving up on the VBAC thing. So I was like, okay, we'll have the nurse check me, but I'm pretty sure that nothing's happening because I did not feel the contractions that were happening. Sure enough, they checked me. I was still at 1 centimeter. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad we taking this baby out today because I don't want to go through this. If you remember from my first pregnancy, I only dilated so much with him. They had to induce me naturally to even kickstart my labor. So the fact that I had not gone into labor yet at 40 weeks was not a surprise to me because Chad Jr. was 2 weeks late. So I'm like, yeah, let's just go ahead and take this baby. The anesthesiologist comes in, he talks to me, he tells me everything that's gonna happen. He was really cool. He was talking to my mom, like they were, talking about their kids and everything. So it was cool. So then he leaves and he comes back and he says that I'm going to have another anesthesiologist because he's needed somewhere else. So I didn't even get to talk to the lady until I got in the operating room that actually did my anesthesia because he had to go somewhere else. But it was cool. Everybody was still really nice. So I just remember like just, being ready and, saying bye to Babe because he had to wait until they got me hooked up and I think until I got my medicine and all of that stuff. And then he could come into the operating room, but he couldn't go in there with me first. So I had to say goodbye to him. And I just remember just being wheeled to the operating room, being excited but not really knowing what to expect. This was a completely different experience from my first C-section because for one, I labored for 30-some hours before I even got to the point where I needed to have a C-section, and half of that was with no epidural. And by the time it was time for me to have a C-section, I was exhausted. My epidural was wearing off, so they had to put me to sleep. So for me to be up and alert, it was a completely different experience this time around. So I just remember, like, you know, going into the room, and I remember it being hot. I was expecting it to be cold because the day before I spent like binging on YouTube watching people's C-section stories, and everybody talked about how cold it was in the operating room. So I was fully prepared for it to be freezing, and it was hot. I got in there and I was like, man, it's warm in here. So that was cool. And there were, like, no lie, like 8 people in there. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Is mommy talking too loud? They get me on the table, they got my arms back, and they're getting ready to give me the medicine. And I just remember being like, it's a whole lot of y'all in here. And no lie, there was like 8 to 10 people in that room. I was like, why does it take so many people to have this C-section? So they get me my medicine, get me everything, and then I do remember Babe coming in. I just remember going like completely numb, like I didn't feel anything, and I'm like, this is the weirdest feeling ever because I cannot feel anything. Like, what is about to happen? We have the C-section, doctor comes in, I see her, everything's good, and you know, I just remember them talking. Like, I don't really remember what they were saying, but Babe was right next to me. He sat right next to me, he held my hand, and I remember him being really anxious. He was just like I could tell, I'm like, you anxious? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, it's cool, we about to meet Reagan, you know, like, it was an exciting time. He was filming, he was vlogging everything, and yeah, like, I just remember them saying, okay, you're gonna feel some pressure, and you know, the doctor was like talking me through it, and she was saying that I had a lot of scar tissue, so it was going to take a little longer because she had to cut through the scar tissue. So eventually she got through it, and they went to, you know, pull out baby girl, and they were like, pressure, pressure. They pulled her out, and she did not cry immediately, because I remember being like, why is she not crying? I said it to myself, and I think I mouthed it like, why is she not crying? And then she started crying. So did they lift her over the little sheet? I honestly can't remember. I think they lifted her up so I could see her a little bit, but they immediately took her to, you know, the little incubator or whatever the thing is that they put them in and do all of the stuff that they do. So I just remember telling Babe, like, go over there, because he had the vlogging camera. I'm like, he's like, you know, can I go? I'm like, yeah, don't stay with me, like, go see her. So he goes over there, and I swear it was like 20 minutes before they brought her back. It just seemed like the longest time ever for them to finish everything they were doing with me. My doctor said that I had a lot of scar tissue, and she wanted to make sure that she did not, you know, cut through my bladder or something. I'm like, what in the world? I had that much scar tissue? So, you know, it took them a while to, I guess, patch me up and all of that good stuff, but everything was good. She didn't touch my bladder, so, you know, everything was fine. And they used the glue. It was, so like, I didn't have staples or anything. They used the glue to close everything up. And once they got all of her stats, she was 9 pounds 2 ounces, the exact same as her brother. They brought her over. Chad, you know, like, got her to hold her, and he brought her over, and I got to see her finally, like, up close and personal. She was like this close to my face, and I was just talking to her. She was crying, and then when they brought her over, she kind of calmed down, and that was like the best moment ever. Like, seeing her face and having her here, it was just like the best thing ever. Meanwhile, I didn't feel anything that was going on, which is it was just a weird experience. Like, knowing that they're operating on you, but you can't feel anything, but being wide awake and being able to see and hear everything that's going on. They had music playing. Like, it was just an interesting experience, honestly. They closed me up, put me, you know, switched me to the, you know, my bed, and then, you know, I went back into the recovery room. Everything was the same. Not everything was the same room, but it was the same room that I started off in. Like, they took me back to my room, and they let us recover for like an hour before, I think an hour before they let the family come back. So I got a chance to feed Reagan, and she latched on with no problems. I didn't have any issues feeding her at all. I mean, everything was good. I'm trying to think, what else? Am I leaving anything out? I I don't know. Oh, so my doctor, she does some type of thing called, I don't know, T-block or something. So I forgot to tell you this. After they closed me up, they had the anesthesiologist come back and administer 2 shots on the side of my, like the side of my abdomen. So on one on each side, and I can't remember if it's called T-block, but it's something that she does in her patients because she finds that it helps with the recovery. Like, you're not in as much pain when they give you those shots. And I guess the shots are just, I don't really know. You would think that I knew what I was talking about, but I don't. So some type of pain relief that they give that helps with the recovery time of C-sections. Don't get me lying. I don't know the specifics of it. I do remember though that it didn't hurt as much as with Chad Jr. Like, I wasn't in as much pain after the C-section. Whatever they did, it worked. And later that night, they got me up. The nurses got me up and took me to the bathroom. They had this like contraption that I like rolled to the bathroom in. Like, they pushed me on this thing to the bathroom so that I could like clean me up. I had a catheter and I had to keep it in for like 24 hours, I believe. But you know, they wanted me to, you know, get cleaned up and everything, make sure everything was okay, check my incision, and, you know, then they rolled me back to the bed. It was the funniest little contraption. We showed it on the vlog. But, yeah, like, I just remember not feeling as bad as I did with Chad. I just remember having Chad and everything hurt. When I coughed, when I sneezed, when I laughed. Not that it didn't hurt this time, but it wasn't as bad as I remember it, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I kind of feel like this C-section was a lot easier on my body than the first one, or maybe it's just that my body had been through it before, so it wasn't as traumatic. Maybe that's what it is. My body was just like, oh, we've done this before, so we're good. And yeah, that's basically the whole story. I did not feel one contraction this entire pregnancy and delivery. Not one contraction. And I feel a little weird about that. Like, that's so random. Like, I didn't have any pain at all. I mean, obviously, you know, afterwards. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, you just go in there and they take her out and that's it. So, I mean, I see why people schedule C-sections, because it's just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You ain't even got to go through all of the extra. But, I mean, it still kind of sucks that I didn't get to experience the VBAC, but that's okay. Like, you know, life goes on. She's here and that's all that matters. She's healthy. That's all that matters. One other thing I will say about this birth versus my first one is that it was really cool to have family and friends there, because we didn't have that in Tennessee. Like, my mom got there the day after Chad Jr. was born, and of course she was there. That was great. But like, we had, you know, people come and visit us at the hospital and, you know, stay with us and keep us company. It was a bit exhausting, but it felt good to just, you know, have family and have people care enough to come. Our pastor came. Like, it was really cool. And let me tell you, the food in the hospital was on point. Like, I was ordering so much food, and like with every meal you get like 6 or 7 things. They're like, make sure you order everything, and I sure took advantage of that food, okay? I just remember being starving after I had her, and when they gave me the menu and they were like, you get this and this and this and this, like at every meal, I was like, okay, I'm getting my money's worth at this good hospital now. So we ended up staying at the hospital for 3 nights. We went in on Friday and left on Monday. I think that that's everything. I hope that I'm not forgetting anything. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but without further ado, here is baby Reagan. Say hi, baby girl. Hi. This is Reagan Elizabeth. Hi, pretty. At this point, she is almost 4 weeks. She'll be 4 weeks tomorrow. Say hi, peeps. Say what up, peeps. Oh. So yeah, here she is. Say what up, peeps. What a cute little outfit. It says still dreaming. You want to say hi? Yeah. No, not so much. Okay. Mommy's making you talk to the peeps. I'm sorry. So this is my baby girl, and it has been awesome having her here. Like, legit awesome. Oh, here's another thing. Like, it's so funny that I didn't even cry, like, when she was born. When I first saw her, I just knew that I would, like, shed a tear or something. But I guess I was all cried out from everything that took place before she got there, because I didn't cry at all. Like, I just remember just feeling just overcome with joy and like all this emotion, but surprisingly I did not cry. It's so funny, when I watch the vlog, I tear up and I'm like, why didn't I cry when she was born? I guess I was just caught up in just the moment and having her there. Plus, like I said, I cried so much before she got here. But yeah, so this is her, and that is our birth story, our C-section story. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know what to do. You can leave those down below. Like I said, she's almost a month, so we will be coming back with her 1 month update, probably not next week but the week after, because she doesn't have her 1-month-old appointment until the 19th. So it'll be, you know, a couple of days after that, because I want to get her weight and stuff like that. So yeah, be on the lookout for the 1-month update coming soon. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will be sure to link her birth video down below. Please make sure you subscribe to my vlog channel, GabeBabeTV. You can see like her first almost month of, you know, activity if you want to watch the vlogs and keep up with us and all of that good stuff. All right, peeps, we'll see you later. Bye.